you have to put the right pieces around Russell Westbrook. And what I mean by that, you can't put superstar guys around him. KD, yeah, I think you have to put a bunch of shooters, a bunch of just athletic guys like AI was constructed. Yeah. He is Allen Iverson. You have to put guys that really don't care about scoring the ball. It's just all about, we know this is our guy, Russ is our guy.
I know T-Mac, he said some things recently that's rubbed some people the wrong way, but this was said in 2018 when Russ was at the peak of his powers. He basically called Russ the modern AI, and that's always been a pretty accurate comparison to me because their careers aged pretty similarly. Allen Iverson eventually wanted to be moved from Philly, and they gave him what he wanted. It just didn't go exactly how he planned. Now playing beside Carmelo, Denver had two of the most ball-dominant players in the history of the sport. And how exactly do you think that worked out? In 2 seasons together, these two won 1 playoff game. And how exactly do you think these playoff games looked? In the playoffs, in these 2 years where these two played together, only 6 players averaged 20 shots a night in the entire league. 2 of them played for Denver.
You could look at it as you've got traded again, or you're with the Detroit Pistons, a team that's been to 6 straight Eastern Conference Finals. Your thoughts, sir?
I look at it like I'm turning into a journeyman.
They moved Chauncey Billups, a championship point guard. Some people say Allen Iverson, his skill set, we know what he's going to bring to the table, but are the Detroit Pistons going to be better with him, or is he going to make the situation worse? What do you say to people who have those questions?
I think it's going to be better, you know.
As soon as Iverson left, Denver made the conference finals, and that was basically the end of Allen Iverson's career. If you look at Russ's last 2 years with Kevin Durant, they were better, obviously, but it was somewhat of the exact same plateauing recipe.
It's going to be scary. That's all I can tell you. It's going to be scary. Not for us.
The problem is, when stars push to go play somewhere else, those new teams might have shorter patience with all your deficiencies. And consequently, that can do way more damage to your legacy than it could have ever helped. Dwight Howard said this to Giannis about him possibly leaving Milwaukee.
I wanted to really tell him to do at this moment is to really just stay silent. This is a big decision for him coming up. And I totally understand from the situation in Orlando what that would feel like. So, just stay put for a little bit, Giannis.
Dwight Howard is saying this because this man got left off a top 75 list simply because he left Orlando. This created a cycle of different team after different team after different team. And it kind of blurred out how great his Orlando years actually were. I've seen that it's now been 4 years since this attempt at a senior citizen super team, I guess. And it's crazy to me because a lot of these guys on this very same team were victims of chasing greener grass that simply never existed.
Starting at the 4 or even coming off the bench. And the second question is...
Who, me?
Oh.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
Today's video is sponsored by SeatGeek. The NBA season is almost here, and we're now a quarter into the NFL season. If you want to see any of your favorite teams or players live at a discounted price, my friends over at SeatGeek has you covered. Everyone can use my promo code Swishout 2025 to get 10% off any tickets. This goes for all live events, the NFL, the NBA, concerts, festivals, really whatever you're into. SeatGeek does all the work, and they rate their own tickets on a scale from 1 to 10. The green dots indicating the best deals, and the yellow, orange, red ones meaning you probably should find some different seats. Also, all of their tickets are backed by their buyer's guarantee, so you can feel secure getting your spot. Click the link in my description box below and download the app. This way you can automatically have my code added to your account. That's 10% off any tickets with my promo code Swishout 2025. Do it now. This is for a limited time only.
Russ called me out of nowhere, DMs me out of nowhere. So he DM'd me like, yo, what's your number? I'm like, fuck me, what's my number? Text me like, yo, I'm DC trying to get me, but they saying you don't want to leave. No, this has been for 10 years. This is my franchise. Like,
right.
Why would I want to leave? I'm like, what you mean they want you? He's like, yeah, they want to trade you.
Russell Westbrook, he's soon to be 37 years old. If I'm being honest, he squeezed way more out of the latter years of his career than I ever would have imagined, especially with his play style. But Russ opted out of his Denver contract this summer, likely seeking more money elsewhere, and unfortunately, it just backfired. Sacramento seemed to have some interest, which I don't really understand given how they're built and their spacing, but anywhere else, it seems to be crickets. Now, this is just one small misstep, and like I said, he's 37 now, so it's not really that major. But going back to 2021 is where I believe everything just went downhill for Russ. We've heard player after player after player simply talk about the stress of just playing beside LeBron. Not even just players, coaches, GMs. It sounds like the most stressful task in the sport. But Russell Westbrook himself, he just went there with way too much status for it to be as epic as a failure as it ultimately was. Unlike other stars, kinda like Dwight, Russ leaving OKC didn't immediately trigger the downfall of his career. Never forget, the best basketball I've seen Russ play outside of OKC is when he went to Houston. But kinda to T-Mac's point, in order for them to have that little bit of success, they had to completely lean all the way into small ball so Russ can have paint space to be Russ. This is what it looked like before they traded Clint Capella, and this is what it looked like after. Every team can't do that for one player. This is what makes Russ's transition into being a role player so tough, because typically the role players complement the stars. Russ has always been that star. And leaving Washington, where it felt like was his last place where he was actually appreciated for what he truly did well, and going to LA, where he's from, where LeBron plays, and where every mistake just felt magnified. It did unnecessary damage to his legacy. Skip and Shannon, I mean, it felt like this every day. A team that just won an NBA championship and basically held the first seed the following season until they had all these major injuries. They fell damn near 20 games below 500. And nobody really talked about or even cared about Anthony Davis missing so much time. All they talked about is Russ came to the team. And kind of similar to AI, as soon as he left that team, they immediately went to the conference finals.
Is phenomenal. And then just the impact that he has on the game, right? Like, he is a guy that needs the ball. He needs the ball. He's going, whether it's a rebound, pushing the ball to the floor, like, he needs it. He wants to make a mistake versus you making a mistake, right? He'd rather be mad at himself versus getting mad at you, right? And I think that's a simple way of putting it.
But it's not just Russ that's kind of going through this. When Russ left Washington, reportedly he was pushing Bradley Beal to do the exact same thing. And as soon as he did, it's like he quickly went from kind of being a sympathetic, get him out of Washington figure to immediately becoming a villain, especially in Phoenix. He didn't trade himself. He didn't give himself that contract. He didn't give himself a no trade clause. It was the old dumbass Washington regime. But that move and taking a big fish out of an extremely small pond immediately hurt his reputation. In 2021, this is how these two looked. A few years later, they both got paid to basically leave.
You like, yo, like, what happened to him?
Right.
Like Ben Simmons.
What
Ben
happened?
Simmons is still the same Ben Simmons we watched dominate in Philly. You know the only difference between Ben Simmons in Philly and Ben Simmons now? It's confidence.
I truly sympathize with Ben Simmons because he really has a back issue and that's really nothing to play with. But we know the downfall of his career was this and pouting his way out of Philly. Think about everything Philly did for Ben Simmons, even with his struggles. They built multiple variations of teams around him being petrified to ever shoot a basketball. They gave that man a 5-year max contract before he even made one three-pointer. And look at where he is now.
Ben Simmons, man. The agent dropped him. He said the only offer he had right now was from the Knicks and he wasn't feeling it. What's going on, man? What we leaning towards?
But it's like when guys leave a team to go to another team, it's like, oh, he's just chasing rings. And I think how it ends up looking that way is because you move on, you move into a situation, and that situation just might not work out.
When this trade first happened, I had the Milwaukee Bucks making the NBA Finals. And honestly, they did absolutely nothing together. I'm not blaming Dame for this because I understand the teams were completely different. But it seemed like Milwaukee consistently upgraded Giannis's point guards, which makes you expect better results. Eric Bledsoe made a conference finals, Drew Holiday won an NBA finals, and now he has a superstar Dame, right? Well, once they added Dame, they also added Dame's contract, and Chris Middleton wasn't the same, and their depth wasn't the same. And unfortunately, Giannis won the least with Dame. That unfairly makes it look like it was Dame.
That may be the only player in the NBA that can win a championship with a team, probably get offered the entire country of Canada, and leave and go back to the Clippers. Like, I can't think of any other guy in the NBA that would turn that down.
Kawhi Leonard in 2019, he left a team that win percentage-wise got better the year after he left. And look at his career now. In 2020 hindsight, Kawhi's prime was way shorter than we thought. So his best chance to maximize his kind of short championship winning window was probably running that back with Toronto in the weaker Eastern Conference. I'll always say this about Kawhi's decision, but the year after he left, this is what that team looked like. They were one game away from the conference finals in the bubble where they got robbed of home court. Even if that man played 30 games, in my opinion, they get back to the finals. If you guys like this video, I'll always look kind of back at these players when I tell Devin Booker and Giannis to find new homes. Because if you don't win, nobody talks about that part. The NBA season is back, so content will ramp up. Follow my social media sites, turn on post notifications, do all that great stuff, guys. And until next time, as always, stay tuned.